Okay, so we are watching a Plat 1 player named SirIPFreely. He's a hitscan player, and this is what they say. Getting really frustrating games where I have no idea what the hell I'm supposed to do. Example, this is a game on Colosseo where I thought we were losing because Zen plus Reaper combo was shredding our tank, so I switched to Widow and Tracer to try and kill Zen, but most of the time I don't even see him. Okay, you play Cassidy here, and then you play Widow, and then you play Tracer. So Plat one's pretty high, just one rank below Diamond. I mean, you're definitely top, I don't know what it is, 25% or so of the player base. Definitely one of the better players I've been reviewing recently. I'm going to assume that you're probably going to have pretty good aiming mechanics, but maybe you're let down here by just the flow of the game and not having the right hero or the right positioning, the right decision making to be successful. So let's watch and see what happens.
Hey.
All right, so you're trying to figure out what's going on. So for starters, what's on our team? We have Winston, so he's a dive tank, right? We have Kiriko, who can play any role. Kiriko's just a strong support. We have Baptiste, who is like a brawly type tank. I think it kind of works here. You got a lot of close range fights here. You got a lot of like grouped up people where splashing is viable, and you got long sight lines for window. I think even with Winston, I think Baptiste is pretty viable here. And then you and the Ashe are just kind of like long range poke. So it's kind of tricky because you and the Winston are kind of out of sync in that sense, right? The Winston wants to dive in there, get up close, kill someone quickly, and then get out. But you and the Ashe are like, no, we want to play long angles. Like we want to extend this fight so that we can just take people down over time. We don't want to get in there all of a sudden and kill someone very very quickly. Again, it's like the game's a lot more complicated than that, but in general, there's not a perfect synergy here, right? If you imagine, for example, Sigma here would be an excellent synergistic pick, right? Then you're all playing behind the shield, playing at long range, and you're just poking people down, and eventually they just fall apart. Obviously, that makes you more vulnerable to dive, but it's just something to think about. All right, so let's look at their lineup. So, Reaper, Genji, Hog, Lucio, Ana. So, what can you do here? Well, first of all, nothing really counters Reaper per se, but like you could say a lot of people go Cassidy against Reaper. If you forced out the Wraith, then you can kill him pretty quickly with Sticky, right? And now called Magnetic, but I'm still going to call it Sticky. You can kill him pretty quickly with Sticky and headshots, right? You can kill him pretty quickly when he's ulting, right? You're probably one of the few DPS that can kill him very, very quickly just by headshotting him while he's ulting. Genji is like an even matchup. Neither one of you is particularly favored, though Genji's been nerfed a lot in the most recent patch. It's definitely 100% a skill thing. Like if you can land a Sticky, he's going to die. If he deflects it or deflects shots at you in general, then you're in big trouble, or pokes you down low and then dash and kills you, then you're going to die instantly. Hog is interesting. Again, I don't think either one of you are favored in that matchup. I think that if you're good with roll, you can dodge hook, you can melt a Hog pretty quickly. But you don't have any true defensive ability besides rolling out of it. Lucio, I think you're a great pick against. Lucio usually trying to bring his team into you really quickly, right? Trying to jump around, be evasive. You're a hitscan hero, so you're easier for you to hit them. And you have Sticky Grenade, which is fantastic against Lucio, right? Does 120, 125 damage, right? And then one body shot plus melee, because I think it's 125 plus 70 for a body shot. That's 195. So as long as he's taking 5 damage, he's going to die there, or you shoot him in the head and he dies. So probably one of the best DPS to kill Lucio with. And then Ana. Realistically, I think you and Ana are pretty much never going to interact with each other except if you high noon her. She's always going to be playing very, very long angles. You're never going to be able to shoot her that far away unless you flank. So what are we thinking here? All right, so the interesting scenario here is this is a good example of where you're out of sync, right? If you had a Sigma here, your Sigma, right, or Rhine, is going to basically zone out the Hog, right, and kind of make space for you to just start pummeling them with damage. Because if you're Winston, you have to play very defensively here until the Winston goes in and attracts attention. And even then, even your Winston goes in and, for example, is on your Ana and the Lucio, right, then the Hog could still be coming forwards, right, into your team. This is kind of a problem, right? In which case you just got to play corners, be very careful, and look for opportunities. So you got to be really careful here, right? You can definitely get hooked and just straight kill you. Great. So you saw Ana use grenades, so that's the last thing to have to worry about. Right? Winston goes in. Okay, this is kind of suicide, right? Because he's going into basically the Reaper, the Hog, the whole team. I mean, the good job getting out. Yep, he's gonna get hooked here. Right, but again, this is a great example where Reaper or Cassidy is one of the better heroes against Hog. If you don't have to worry about getting hooked, you're absolutely shredding him with headshots. Right, that probably saves your Winston. this is bad sticky, right? Right, that never had a chance. Okay, you're low. You're gonna kind of push back. Really, Roadhog is gonna heal for a while. The Winston does a defensive bubble, which is not very bad. Winston's a bad tank in this situation, right? For your lineup, for their lineup, they've got a Reaper, they have a Hog, right? They have a Lucio. Even Anna can be really problematic for Winston. It's really landed some more headshots. Okay, be very careful. You know Hog's got a hook every 6 seconds, right? You haven't seen him hook, so he's looking for a hook right now. Like, it's so obvious he's looking for a hook right now, and you don't have roll. So you decide to try to make a play here. You decide to go this fight, right? It's 4-4, but your Winston's down, and you traded for the Genji. Stick with Lucio, right? One, right? And then again, he just barely lives because it's just not enough damage. You're gonna hook him. Was that the right call? It's tough to say. He's dead, right? Which is always a problem. Usually, dropping a tank for a DPS is a good trade for the team for the Genji team. I think that this is like extremely unlikely to result in the win, right? Because best case scenario is that you sticky this Lucio and then you also kill him. And then you trade for it. There's no way you're going to kill 2 people here, right? Like, you're in the middle of a Reaper, a Lucio, a Hog, and Anna. There's no scenario here where you kill 2. And it's actually fairly difficult for you to even kill 1. So, does that win the fight if you kill Lucio? I don't think so. I think the team, again, red team here would be, like, thrilled. They're like, okay, we killed the Cassidy, we traded Lucio. Yeah, that's good. We'll take that. In reality, you get nothing here. So what should you have done instead? I think you just back out. This is not going to become viable. You can't get out of this. You can't. You 4 people alive. Unless you think you can't get out of the situation, I think you just.
What's up?
The enemy has the hostiles.
Alright, Eureka, big start, right? This is flat, almost diamond, so good to see that people are actually grouping up. I don't know.
Enemies
Not sure
found.
that's not doing anything.
Preparing to engage.
So, let's think. Right, where do you want to be playing? I think left is pretty dangerous, honestly. The Hog can come up the steps, for example, and then you're just out of space to go anywhere. I think bridge is much safer. You're barely visible. It's really hard for the Hog to hit hooks, and their supports eventually have to come forward, right? Even if you just zone the supports from moving forward, and it's just the Hog and Genji that move forwards, that's fine. Then you can 5-on-2, right? Without the support. Playing here is still fine right now, right? I don't know about that roll, especially in a game where you know there's a Hog. I'd want to keep my roll whenever I possibly. Right? You hit a headshot here. Okay, you have ulti, so you can think about a hiding opportunity. You can also think about hiding for a reload. This is a interesting play. Yeah, I mean it worked out. It's not the. Did you actually see the Hog throw a hook? Oh yeah, you did. Okay, good. Right, so you see the Hog throw a hook. You don't. The Anna could potentially sleep you, but I understand this is like a. She almost gets it. You fire it in time though, so I think this is a plus play. And that's the problem. His nano is tough, right? But he's not invincible, right? His nano basically has 300 health, which is not crazy. Definitely. Right. I wouldn't chase the Anna here, right? She's already like, oh no, there's a Cassidy looking at me. She's playing way back. I'm like, okay, where is the rest of the team? And looking at the robot, trying to help my team clear them. Right? You're going here. This is dangerous. Again, there's like a lot of things. It's like theoretically a good flank kill. Let me actually think about this. Is this the right move? Well, first of all, I think the question is, at close range, you know, how likely is it that you're going to beat an Anna? Well, I guess you saw her use sleep, right? So you saw her sleep, so you know she doesn't sleep. Sleep makes a big difference, right? If she sleeps, then you're probably going to die. But now that you know that she doesn't have sleep, and you know she's actually injured as well, this is probably a good play, right? I think the only thing that I'd be worried about is I'd be worried about the Hog hooking me on the way down. But you actually look and check here to make sure that the Hog isn't looking at you. Again, he could have been behind. He could have been behind the arch, the first arch.
You can't use my tricks against me.
Check right here. He could be like right here, basically where the Reaper is, and he could hook you. But I guess you actually see him here, so you probably register all this correctly. I think this is a good play.
Learn that one from you.
You've killed the Anna, right? Reaper's here. You grab the Mega. Now you're coolable, right? You're like, okay, I don't really have any cooldowns. You have roll now, right? You're ahead. You're already ahead. It's pretty tricky to roll into. Like, I think you just extend out this fight, right? Because you know You know that the Ana's dead. You know the Ana's dead. You know the Lucio's dead, right? And then you know, because you killed the Lucio, right? You killed the Ana, right? You know the Hog is forwards here. You know your whole team's alive. They're going to walk forward, kill the Hog, and then come over and help you with the Reaper. You don't need to force this fight. I think you take the Mega, right? You shoot him. You want to go left, fine. I think you just go backwards here, right? The last thing you want to do is get closer to him, where you could potentially turn this fight around, right? He's already at half health. Going here, like he could potentially two-shot you here, right? Grapes, fights. I mean, you win it, but I think it's unnecessary. I think you just play that slower.
Trigger finger's still itching. Move along. How you want?
It's tricky though, because I think playing DPS is also about finding good like one-to-one fights. If you're comfortable with, you feel comfortable with that one. You want it? Maybe it is the right call. I probably would have played that slow, just because I knew the situation, that my team is definitely going to win and kill that Hog and come over and help me, and I want to make the chance of me dying to the Reaper 0, right, or 1%. I do not want to take like a 70-30 fight in that situation, because if I take that fight, like, the Reaper will still probably die, hopefully, right? He might be able to teleport out in time, but that means that I'm not going to be there in this next team. Generally, you should assume that you're better than. I mean, if you want to climb, you have to be better than everybody else in the game. So it's more. You should never trade your life for someone else's, as a general rule, right? If you're trying to climb, because you are supposed to be the best player in the game if you're expecting to climb.
Pushing our barricade up.
You see the Hog. Hog's definitely. You're already hook range right now. You're looking for it. You roll. I think the roll is too early. Right, I think you wait. Honestly, I think in this situation, I think you kind of need to wait a little bit. Wait to see if you can actually, right? I don't want to preemptively wait, because then somebody else just get killed. Okay, you see the Hog's low. I know you want to kill him. It's tempting to keep trying to chase him this. Right? You get it, but like, at what cost? Right? I think that you already saw how low the Hog was, and you saw your Orisas chasing him. I think you fight this Reaper right here. Right? This Reaper or the Genji or like anybody else other than trying to chase the Hog, like running in a straight line at the Hog to try to kill him. Also drops your Ana. Right? I think right now, like, yeah, he's low. I think right now, you got 3 shots left. You still got a sticky. I think you just keep your supports alive here, right? The Hog's going to die here, right? They're not going to kill your Orisa. Your Orisa still has all cooldowns. She's spinning right now. The Hog is going to die here. He just got purpled, right? There's no way he survives this. They don't have a Kiriko, so he's definitely dying here. I think you just keep your supports alive here. Right? Okay. Genji Blades, right? Again, this is a naked blade. He does not nanoed. Again, you know he's not going to have nano because they nanoed in the previous fight. Right? So you know this is a naked blade. He only has 200 health. Sticky, turn. Sticky him right now. Right? Turn. Sticky him right now. And then, you know, 1 hit plus anybody else doing any damage to him, and he dies. Right? So instead, you're like gung-ho trying to kill the Hog. That's not going to win this fight, right? The blade is going to kill everyone here. He's going to get resets. You gotta kill the Genji here. So I think this is a bad target priority. Right, now he goes to kill the okay, Ana gets to sleep. Ana's kind of low.
Bit early. Dust off.
But I do think that fight was in fact winnable. Like, it feels kind of overwhelming, but I think the right call was just keeping her supports alive. I think that's actually what classically Cassidy / McCree used to do, right, back in Overwatch 1, is he used to be used as like the anchor of the team. Right? They would pour resources like Mercy, right, etc., Reinhardt, to keep him alive, and everything would revolve around him because he did a ton of damage, right, at both left clicks, and then his Phantom Hammer did a lot of damage, right? And so he could shred tanks, and then everyone would basically pocket him the whole way so that he could just shred people down, right? And he's just kind of the anchor that everything revolves around. I think that's actually a good style to be playing in this situation, right? Once the Hog was taken care of, which you knew the Orisa would get that kill, then you just good, right? You got a hit shot, another target that can force the early raid. It's tough. I mean, you're missing some shots here, but I don't think you killed Lucio even if you hit the face, right? Not unless you're like hitting headshots with every single one. Like, at any moment in time, he can, right? He could speed, go around the corner. I don't think he can. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I don't think it's a meaningful shots that you need. Okay. Good. So you know the Reaper doesn't have Wraith. So I understand you dropping down here to throw Sticky, right? You shoot him. The problem is there's 2 supports here, and you just dropped off high ground. So you're kind of like 3v1ing right now, unless your supports are like 100% in line with you. And that is not what is happening here, right? The Ashe is the only one with you. Your Kiriko just came back from spawn, right? Because you know the supports are going to be late because you saw them die in the previous fight with your tank, right? And your Orisa has just arrived here and is spinning in to get here quickly. So I don't know how this plays out. I haven't seen the replay, but I would be concerned that you might actually... Okay, you did a lot of damage. Great. I think the Ana was probably trying to sleep you, and the Orisa ate it. That you necessarily would have gotten hit by it anyway, but just something to know. I think it was a scary time to drop, right? Certainly a gutsy time to drop. I probably would have waited a little bit more for my Orisa to engage. So you high noon here, hurt sleep. Honestly, like a lot of decision making here, I think is really good. Oh, huge, right? So you do that. I don't know why the Lucio's beating here to begin with. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The Reaper is dead already. Like, nobody's actually near him. This is kind of a crazy.
Left yourself wide open.
So that's fine. All right, you're good. All right, good kill on the Lucio. Forwards. So you can hear the hog, see the hog, right? Keep an eye on him. You see Helix, you dodge the Helix. Great job, right? So I'm worrying about the hog on my right. Like, I don't know what the hog's gonna come out. Because, like, again, if the hog's right here, I don't want to trade for the hog. That's just kind of silly.
Robots moving the barricade.
Yeah. So one thing to think about, again, it's not your job to move the cart, right? So you definitely should feel free to play like the left side here and not have to move the cart. I think you're frontlining a little bit too much here. Like, the Ana's kind of tagging you. I think you kind of take space either to the left or to the right. I think the number one thing is you have to figure out where the hog is. Now you know where the hog is. So, okay, now you see the Zen. Right? Try to hit the Zen, good, right? You're forcing the Zen to cover. Even if you don't get a kill here, right? You force the Zen into cover. No discords, no damage, no, probably not even harmony. That's already almost as good as a kill, what you did right there. Which is good. So Reaper's coming down, right? Again, you're the best. You and the Ashe are the best ones to deal with Reaper, right? Your Orisa can like nullify him for a bit, but she cannot kill him. You can farm off your Orisa. So good protective. Okay, you sticky him. He forces raise. Let's figure out, why does your Orisa kill? Okay, so she eats a purple. Cleanse, right? So your Orisa should be totally fine here. She gets hooked.
Is close.
So she gets discorded again by the Zen, and now the Reaper is crushing her. Right, that's what's going on. So I think in this situation, what can you do differently? Right, it's tough because this is gonna play out pretty fast. I think you're gonna sticky him. I think you've played left here and use the robot as cover. Right, if you play left here, the Zen can't hit you, the Ana can't hit you, the Soldier can't hit you. Only the Reaper can hit you, but you just stickied him, so you know that he's gonna have to Wraith or die. Right. So and then. Right? You play here to the left, and I think you're all set, right? And then the Reaper can't do anything. Like, I don't know 100% sure if that would win the fight for you, but I think that's the possible. You should have played more aggressively in that situation to try to keep the Reaper off. Okay, so it's pretty tricky right now. I mean, you're down your tank, you're down your Ashe. It's 3 on 5, I think. I don't think you're gonna have kills. So I think you're just probably like, okay, I'm gonna die here. Again, I think escaping here is a mistake, right? Escaping here, there's no chance you're gonna escape, period, right? You're gonna end up staggering. I think you just try to kill people to stagger them. Right? Every second that goes by, I think you get great double headshot on the Reaper. Again, you see that they're already out, and you're not even respawned yet. So now you're Rhine, right? It's kind of walking forward. This is a mistake by your Rhine. Maybe. I guess they're actually, because of the killing your Reaper, they're like kind of scattered. But I think it's, okay, yeah, I guess that was a bad charge. So they're killing the baby diva. Oh no, Ana died. So this is a problem, right? Your supports lasted so long, they're crazy out of sync with you. So now what do you do? Right, you come forward and you're like, okay, now you're whatever. So you try to get an insta kill on the Soldier. I understand this. I'm very great shot again. Wow, you just killed both DPS. Big plays. Right, yeah. The Ana too. I think you just chill here, right? You're at 45 health. Don't just die to poke damage. Don't let the Zen kill you here. That's like the devastating thing. So far I would say, I mean, I think your aim is very good, right? Probably definitely better than Plat 1, I would say. I think you're definitely diamond level aim. A lot of your like micro decision making, I think is very, very good. right? You're definitely tracking ultis, you're tracking abilities, you're getting away with things. Again, I think as elo goes up, I think the margin for error gets smaller and smaller, but I can feel I think the game sense here, and I think that overall I think you're playing this pretty well, right? I think you're certainly providing a lot of value, outperforming your Ashe, right, or I guess Reaper now, right, for sure, and I would say you're also outperforming their DPS. So, I think that as what we've seen so far, I think you deserve to win this game.
Just a little more and this lead is ours.
Yeah, so you're playing pretty slowly here. So don't forget there's a Mega here to the left, right? I think, and it's tough with the new maps because I know everyone's not like super familiar with them. I think you probably should have spent your time to go get the Mega. That way, because like right now you can't peek at all for fear of just like eating random stuff. And I think if you ran over there from the beginning, you have the Mega, you also have a different angle to hide help control. All right, so you see the Reaper come over. I think your thought process here should be that Reaper was a big problem last time, right? Or just in pretty much every single fight, right? The soldier on high ground over here on the bridge, way too far away to do any damage. I'm not worried about him. Plus, he just can't possibly have... Actually, I guess he can advisor. He must have been alive in the last fight. Oh, yeah, you killed him.
They got the robot.
Yourself with the Mega. So I think you're like, okay, any opportunity I get, I want to make sure to keep the Reaper just chipped, right? Every time he uses a body shot for 70, he changes his decision. So... So the D.Va's doing a good job, right? Because you're basically carrying your team in terms of like damage and kills. So the D.Va is diving you, and you kind of need to be aware of that and think of what's going on here. I think you roll. Right? Do a lot of damage. So let's kind of play that back. Could you have done anything different?
Ready. Your team is close to
So
taking the lead.
you're kind of
Just a little more and this lead is ours.
Yeah, Reaper race right now. I think one thing to think about here is simply ult tracking, right? You should know that both of the DPS have an ulti in the last fight, so they have to be pretty close to an ulti, right? You had never seen the Zen trance, so the Zen should have trance here, right? We can also tell that obviously from the top right. I can't remember the last nano you saw either, but regardless, I mean, you should think that, okay, some DPS are coming out. You, to some extent, in your mind, you might be like, okay, this might be a fight that we have to give up, right? And how can I draw out those resources? If you die very, very quickly, they're not going to pop a lot of ultis. But if you stay alive, you force the fight out longer, then things get trickier. I think you definitely don't stay, like 5 people can see you right now, right? I think you got to play counters a little bit more. And I think I actually want to play this arch versus this arch, this column, right? Versus this column. Because it's kind of tricky because it depends on the situation. I think I'd want to stay on my Rhine. Especially now that we're popping Rush. I think you stay to the left, you can take advantage of Rush. You try to kill Zen. I understand this. I think this is a tough kill, right? There's a lot of damage fall off. You basically need to double headshot the Zen from this distance. So, D.Va's diving you. Honestly, I think your support should have saved you here. I don't really think there's anything you can do in this situation. Like, the D.Va's like committing to you right away. The Mercy in the air should think like, oh, shoot, Cassidy. Okay, so to their credit, right, they come back. They come back and see you. Right? You're super low. The Kiriko's like already tossing a Fuda at you. And then soothes you, right? So saves you here. I think definitely stop shooting the D.Va here and worry about the Reaper. Right? Because I think I would trust that my Reaper is gonna pop that D.Va, but they're also survivor. I mean, yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do here. I think your team just accepts the fact that this fight, which is okay, right? Like they pop. What do they pop here? Right? They pop Visor. They pop Blossom. That's fine. Your Rhine, terribly out of position. Terribly out of position. Try to stay alive. Your Rhine is throwing. Stop.
Come on, Cole. Try a little harder.
Okay. So now you go
I
Widow.
aim to devastate.
I don't know that I agree with this, right? So as Widow, what are good targets here? The Zen, for sure, right? Obviously Zen always a great target for Widow. Widow's been killing Zen since 2016 or whatever Overwatch released. Ana, also a good Widow target, right? Soldier, decent Widow target. Reaper, decent Widow target. D.Va, terrible Widow target, right? D.Va will bully you all the time and make your life really difficult. I think the primary issue I don't like Widow here is because this fight is going to happen at this bridge. You know, the robot is going to get here and be under this bridge by the time you can get out with your team and do anything, especially because your Rhine is going to be late, because you know that because you saw your Rhine die last. So you're going to have very short angles, in which case you might as well be playing any other character that excels at close range, right? Reaper, Cassidy, you know, because you gave up all charge there, right? Like, you've been playing well at Cassidy. I don't feel like you needed to swap Widow here.
Going somewhere?
It's like, okay, right now you're kind of zoning the baby guns and you're missing shots. Right? It's like now the soldier's kind of skilled. Like you're spending time shooting a baby Diva that's not doing anything. Anna's still able to heal people because, you know, long range. Right? Yeah, see, the Anna's still able to heal people. You're not stopping the Anna from doing anything. I think this Whittle is gonna end up doing it. Okay, so now they've shattered. And you're just like, okay, well, that sucks. Great, you hit a shot. Yeah, think about it. For Cassidy, I think you kill both of them. I think you kill both of them right there, right? If you're playing Cassidy. Now you're like, oh shit.
Escort. I'm here.
We need to rescue the robot.
You're having trouble,
Stop that robot
tracking
from
the Widow for
pushing.
sure. One thing I want to check is, were they leading on this push? Right. This one, yeah, so they're leading, so you're going to have to figure out how to come back from this. And again, super low, right? The person's looking at you. I mean, yeah, you just kind of get poked down here. You're scorching. But I think the problem is that there's also like people kind of in your team right now, right? I think the Reaper comes. Yeah, the Reaper's in your back line, Diva's on top of you. Yeah, I mean, you're just getting killed here. Right? Widow isn't helping with any of these problems. Like, Widow might stall this game out because you can get picks from spawn, but I don't think Widow's helping you actually win this game. Okay, so you've come out, you're playing Tracer now. Maybe your team called to go dive, which is interesting because I don't know why you'd go Winston into the Reaper, right, already, and Diva. I think that Diva is also an excellent counter against Winston. So in this situation, you've gone Tracer. I don't know how good you are at Tracer, but I think it's tricky to play here. I think Tracer is a reasonable pick in general, but like it's tough. Like, you're just frontlining and you're instantly killed. Yeah, this feels like tilt to me. Honestly, this feels like tilt. Like that can't possibly have been your best call. It's like, I'm gonna walk into 4 heroes pushing around a corner into me.
And she's back in the game.
Like, you have to be super careful here, just coming out of the spawn. Vincent jumps in straight in the middle. So, interesting time. I think I blink to the left mini. Right? Because this series of blinks, I don't think it's right? Because you're blinking into 3 people. You're blinking at the 3 people, one of which is a Zen, right? There's an Anna, and then who the heck is the last one over here? The soldier, right? Like, you instantly die here, typically. That's basically the same thing you did in your last life, right? You were super lucky that you did not get discorded and Helix like immediately and died here, right? Or grenaded, or like any number of things would have killed you virtually faster than you could react, right? It forces out your rewind right away, which means that now you have to play very carefully, right? Everything is based around, okay, how many blinks do I have? How many do I have rewind or not? That changes completely how aggressively and how much impact you're going to have. Now you have to play super carefully, right? Or die. Right? Now you're playing, okay, way in the back, 78. Right? Top the Diva, which is a good play. You try to go for the pulse. That's understandable pulse. She was like jumping. Okay, rewind. Set. You're still in 68 health. You're really trying to force this. I think you're trying to stay alive here. Right? It's like, okay, like, you don't need to immediately, oh, I gotta kill them all right now. The Anna can't even heal anybody, right? Anna has to walk all the way up here before she can do anything. I think you just try to, like, chill. Buy a little time, right? I don't know if the mini is up in there or not. Yeah, I mean, and your team, or their team is trancing. I don't know. I don't think. First of all, I'm not feeling that you're that good at Tracer. I think that you're Tracer skill level is significantly lower than Cassidy. I think same thing with Rico. So I think the moment you switched off of Cassidy, you kind of hurt yourself already. Now you're like, okay, what's your plan here? Right? This is a hard space to play as Tracer unless you can turn the corner, and then you have more space and you have the mini and the mega to work with. But like right here, you're gonna be like, okay, what? You can go there and one click. Yeah. That I think a typical Tracer kills the Zen. Right? The Zen only had he only has 100 health here, right? This is a very easy one clip for a Tracer. But like your movement, etc. is not in sync, you don't get this kill. Like that, I feel like already shows me that you're just not good at Tracer. Right, now you rewind, and now you're like, okay, now the Ana knows. The problem is now the Ana knows that you're trying to kill the Zen, right? So she's gonna be pocketing the Zen. Slow, and now you're dying. So unsurprisingly, I think you're just gonna get rolled here.
2 minutes.
Right, take out. Okay, waiting here. Not really. I don't think your tracking here is honestly even that good.
Light them up.
If only you were playing Cassidy right now, you could use this window to do something. Okay. You die. So.
Keep moving! Let's stop them!
So what is my advice here? I think number one, I think that I really want to encourage you. I think your Cassidy play was very, very good. It was really, really good. Could it have been enough to win this game? Maybe not, right? I think your tank in particular was just not in sync with the rest of the team, not playing particularly well. I think your other DPS didn't seem to be doing very much. That's going to be tough. Sometimes that's going to happen, right? But you could still win 60, even 70% of your games where, the other 20, 30% of your games are kind of unwinnable. Like, it happens. I think the right call is play the hero that's going to help you, give you the best, if you care about climbing, right? Play the hero that's going to give you the best chance at winning the game. I don't think Widow was the right call here. I don't think Tracer was the right call here. I think you stick with Cassidy, right? Or, I don't know if you can play another. We can think about that in a second. But I think that of the 3 heroes we saw, Cassidy is by far better than the other 2. For sure. Like, definitely, unquestionably, you're doing more impact. Like, I think the moment you switched off Cassidy, they just rolled you because you were such a pivotal part to keeping the game competitive, right? So, having said that, right, let's think, is there anything you could have switched to that would have changed the outcome of the game, assuming you could play other DPS heroes at a comparable level to your Cassidy, right? Pretty well. Like, basically, is there a better hero pick here, assuming you had the skill to do so? Thinking through the DPS roster, I don't think Soldier would have helped. I think that your Cassidy is better. I think Reaper is just very strong right now. There's a lot of close angles here that I think Reaper is strong at. So I think Reaper potentially could have been a good pick here, right, to outduel their Reaper, because you're outdueling him already as Cassidy, and I think that was actually tougher, frankly, than outdueling him as Reaper, right? I think Reaper is good here. Death Blossom also obviously very strong. They have a Diva, but I still think it's very, very strong. Sojourn is another reasonable possibility, right? Assuming you have good aim, which you have generally good aim, you farm with left click, and then you right click and you insta-kill the Zen and the Ana, right? That's definitely a possibility. Disruptor, also quite strong. You're also very mobile, so you're less reliant on your supports and your tank to peel for you, because they're obviously, your tank especially is not peeling for you at all. Mei... not really. I don't think Mei's a strong player here. Junkrat, I think, is always a pretty strong pick. Again, a lot of close angles, a lot of vertical space make Junk pretty good here. But they already have a Diva, right? Yeah, the Soldier's good at killing Tyre. I think Junk's like okay here, probably comparable in impact to what you were doing on Cassidy. Pharah, not particularly strong. They already have a Zen, they have an Ana, they have a Soldier. I don't think Pharah would have helped here. Symmetra, kind of. You can zap the Diva down, but I think that's probably not. If you're a hitscan player, Symmetra's gonna be like feel awful to you. Let me think. If there's anybody else that would make a difference. Ashe was already picked, right? I don't think Ashe does anything here. I don't think Ashe is a particularly good pick here, especially without a Mercy Pocket. Yeah, I honestly think of what we saw, I think playing Cassidy, and I think that you probably don't win this game no matter what you play, to be perfectly honest. I think that even if you're a significantly more skilled player, I think that your team as a whole was just not really coordinated and able to kind of get their shit together to be able to win this game. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but hopefully it makes you feel a little better.